So I'd like to talk about actually the reason why I'm making this channel, the main reason. I'd like to talk about my mental condition. So I've been diagnosed officially with 3 disorders, although I can identify like 9 disorders, 8 or 9. Yeah, back in early 2009, I was diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder, which is an emotional disorder, and I'll talk more about it later, but you can find some information on a few websites. It's starting to be a bit more known about. So I've been accepted in a therapy back then, and it didn't really work. I couldn't get to the appointments, and I wasn't motivated. Motivation is one of my main problems. I've also been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, which is also intimidating. I also have social anxiety. It's not diagnosed, but anyone who knows me enough can tell you that I'm socially anxious, and I'm introverted rather than extroverted. So yeah, I'm borderline, but I keep most of the stuff, most of the emotions inside. And yeah, I'm socially anxious. So that's also why it took so many tries, so many weeks to make a video. My third diagnosis is post-traumatic stress disorder, because of how I was raised, because of my childhood. Well, to resume like a bit of my childhood, my parents separated when I was 3, and that's what triggered my borderline personality disorder. So that's when I started being much more like emotional, and I thought about it, and I decided to ask my mom a while ago, and she said that that's pretty much when my behavior changed from good to worst. And then yeah, I lived with my mom, and it was pretty fucked up. She was like a bit violent, but not really violent. More like neglecting me. There was a lot of neglect, and yeah, psychological violence rather than physical violence. And my mom raised me, so I was like very introverted. She didn't help the case. And yeah. And then I went to live with my dad when I was 13, which was also a bad experience. So yeah, all of that built post-traumatic stress disorder. So these three diagnoses are like the base of the tree, and from there I identified a lot of different stuff, disorders, issues that are like branches, most of them. They could come from my emotional disorder, or from anxiety, or from my childhood. There is, I have OCDs, obsessive compulsive disorder. Not like major enough to be diagnosed, but I know I have it. And one guy with who I worked in an art gallery, he would tell you I have major OCDs. It's mostly when I'm tired, I guess, that I start being like obsessed about very minor details that don't matter, where stuff are, and the way I think. Then I've had some self-injury problems. I used to cut myself back in 2008, which was like the worst year of my life. And well, these days I still self-injure, but in a different way. I don't cut. I just like to hurt myself, I guess, a lot. And like I will punch myself, I will slap myself, I will punch a piece of wood, anything. I can't really punch the walls because I live in an apartment. Most of the time it comes from my next problem, which is gambling or gaming. It's more like gaming because I don't really lose money because of it. I'm really, I get really invested, really addicted to a game. It could be a video game, it could be a casino game, whatever. When I start playing, I have to win. Like, whatever happens, I won't let myself lose. And I get very hard on myself. Physically, mentally, I will insult myself. And like, if I don't win, and it's been hours that I've tried something, I can just threaten myself to, like, I won't stop even if I succeed, because I'm not succeeding fast enough. So I'll punish myself. Self-injury wasn't really a punishment. It was more a way to, like when I was cutting myself, it was more a way of coping with panic attacks and strong anxiety. Because at that time I just didn't know what to do anymore. I was like freaking out 24/7.